You work for the Tawa Scuba School, who runs classes 7 weeks a day. That's Monday to Sunday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I know what you're thinking. So, uh, each classroom has a letter on the door rather than a number. So in each classroom, you probably see something like an A or a B or a C or a D. You get the idea, right? Each teacher can teach up to 4 classes per day. You would create a spreadsheet to find the classes for a selected teacher on a selected day. All dates must be displayed. Take note as DDMM. Right, so this is 2. So this will be like 29, 10, 20, 25, which is when I'm producing this video, right? Yeah. Open and examine the file J25 teacher.csv using spreadsheet application software. So let's open and examine the file. So I have the file here. So I have it extracted already. So I'm going to open it. So teacher, open it. Click here, double click. Okay. So this is the teacher code and the teacher name. Name this worksheet teacher. Okay, so I'm going to name it teacher. Okay, open and examine the file J25 data. Place this content in a new worksheet called data within the same workbook. Now look at this. So this is going to be what within the same workbook, right? So what I'm going to do is I can in a new worksheet. Okay, so I can use this one. Open a new worksheet here. I'll just open a new worksheet here and copy his content here. Then paste it, right? And what do I call this? This is going to be what called data. Name it data. Okay. All right. This worksheet now contains data about classes, right? Subjects and lessons. Okay. Look at it here. You can see that it contains classes, subject, and lessons. All right. The data for the subject period and room letter is stored as strings. Take note for the subject, stored as strings. Okay. In the classes section. Okay. In the classes section. Look at it right. This right here. It is formatted like this. Let's explain this. So the first one here is the subject code. SC. This one is the period. This one is the room. The subject code. Period. Room. This is the room. Okay. The length of the C will depend on the numbers of classes taught. So it can be more. No, we'll say that some having 4. So most time it can be this is 6. It can be 12 by each teacher on each day. In this example, the teacher only teaches 2 classes on this day. Create a new worksheet within the same workbook called Finder. So within the same workbook, so Finder. In this worksheet, create a table with a merge cell to be formatted like this. Okay, so let's do that. I think I can close this one. I really don't need this anymore. I have it here already. So I can split my screen. Okay, so let me split my screen. So I have this here. So I have E1 to E1 merged. Now what happens to it? It is black, and then it has class finder. It's right here. And what happens to the text? The text is what? White. Okay, and it is increased. It is center. It is bold. Yeah. Then we have the next one. Enter the date. Then select teacher's name. This one is 6 teacher's code. Day code. Day of the week. String. Okay. There I can double click this. Okay. Now what happened here is that all of them are right aligned. Quickly, right aligned. This on the other hand is bolded. Okay. And then in row 11, what happened here? This is merged and center. Let me just go straight to the point. This is classes. This is bolded. I can just come here, copy this, format painter, and click here, classes. So they have the same thing. So I give this 16. So this is also 16. Okay. I have class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4. I have subject, time, room. And this right here is right aligned. This right here is center. Okay. And here in B3, you have 13. Okay. O3, 2025. So we need to change it. Okay. So let me, I think everything has been sorted. I want to check this. Let me look at it. I'm looking at the font. Yeah, it's Calibri. It's Calibri that was used. Calibri. Yeah. It's important that you also know it that is Calibri. Okay, so look at it. Yeah, calibrate. Okay, make this 18 and make this 18. So let's change this. To change this here, I'll come here to the number format. Then under the date, I will change it to this format here. Good. So that has been done. So now we have it like this. So I think I can extend it here a bit. All right. So that has been done. Save your workbook as finder followed by center number, candidate number, right? So I'm going to save it as this. Okay. File, save as. Okay. Or you can come here to browse. It's already in this same, in that folder, right? Come here, Excel workbook, and move this here to my center number is AN017. My center number is my candidate number is 2025. This is my center number, this is my candidate number. Center number, candidate number. So I'll save my work. Okay. Place in cell B3 the date. I've done that already. Format this as DDMM YYY. I have also done that already because I looked at it and obviously that has been done. So this has been sorted. This has been sorted. Um, this has been sorted. This has been sorted. We see the data entry for this cell so that only dates from 2025 and 2026 can be entered. If the date is not accepted, display an appropriate error message. Okay. So I'll come here, data, data validation. So I have date, start date. They say 2025, right? So the start of 2025 is what? 01 01 2025. And the end date for 2026 is 31 12 2026. Okay. And if there's, it will be all messages. Um, sorry. Let me see. Sorry. What is that exclamation mark? Sorry. You have to enter dates between 2025 and 2026. You have to enter dates between 2025 and 2026. So now let's see it. So if I enter, let's see 2027 here. So you have to enter dates between 2025 and 2026. So you can see it's restricting me already, right? It's restricting me already from doing that. And if I enter 2024, what happens? It tells me what? It gives me what? That error message. Okay. Done. Set cell B4 so that the name of the teacher can be selected from drop-down list. The teacher worksheet can be edited if required. Okay. They can be selected from a drop-down what? List. Okay, so let's do that. So this is it here. So we need to select this. Well, um, okay. So let's go ahead. So come here. I'll come here to data, data, data validation, settings, change it to list. Where is my source going to come from? Teacher. And I'll select this. Shift. Okay, let me highlight it like this. And I have it here. Okay, click on OK. So now I have all the teachers here. Okay, so you can select anyone here. Okay, let me go with team. Okay, now so this has been done. Teacher worksheet can be edited if required. So this has been done. So the name of the worksheet can be selected from a drop down list. So the only way that can be done is to use a data validation. To do that, um, place in cell B6, okay, to look up the code for this teacher. Now, if you want to look up the code for this teacher, now notice this, the code here is here. My lookup value is here. We cannot use VLOOKUP because VLOOKUP works from left to right. You understand me? It works from left to right. So the only way this can work is that we need to either use um, a function that allows, a lookup function that allows backward referencing. VLOOKUP do not allow backward referencing. So one way we can do this is to use the XLOOKUP, because with the XLOOKUP we can be able to go either direction. Make sense? So here I have equals to XLOOKUP. What will be my lookup value? This will be my lookup value, comma. My lookup array is now going to be from here, which is what? The list of what? Teachers. I can do, let me just highlight this. I want to do shift control arrow down, but let me do this, comma. What's the return? What are we returning? We are returning this one, the teacher's code. Hope you're learning. I hit an enter so that we have that. Okay. Now, the next one is, so if I change this, what will happen if I change this? It changes. Can you see that? It changes. Good. The next one is, so this has been done. Place in cell B7, okay, a function to return the day code of the date entered in cell B3. The day code of the date entered in cell B3. For example, Sunday is 1, Monday is 2. Right? So we want to know the day code of the date entered. So what day is this? Right? 13th March 2025. What day? We want to know. Is it going to be Monday? Is it going to be Sunday? Is it Tuesday? Is it Wednesday? So how do we use it? So there's a function that we use to do this. Okay, so we use what we call the function called what? Weekday. We want to know the day of the week. That's our function. To know what? The day of what? The week. Right? So the weekday function is now used to return a number from what? The weekday is used to return what? A number from what? 1 and that's 1 to 7. Okay, from a given date, right? So that's how it works. So we use weekday for it. So if you have 13, we want to know which day is it. Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? Okay, so that's how we do it. So very important. Okay, so here, and of course for weekdays we have other functions as well. We have day function, we have month function, we have year function. Okay, so you can actually splice it. Let me show you an example. I know this is day function, but let's look at the day function. It's just to show you what I'm talking about. If I click here, this is the 13th day. Can you see that? The 13th day. If I come here to edit this, again, I'm just teaching you this. That's what we do here, right? It will bring up what? The third month. Can you see that? And if I do this for the year, return the year of a date. Can you see that? It brings 2025. That's how it's done. So now I want to know the day, which day between 1 to 7. So that's going to be equals to weekday, right? This, and it's going to, this is what? On a Friday, let me see, on Monday, Tuesday. So this is, it starts from Sunday. It starts counting from Sunday. So 3, 4, 5. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This is on a Thursday. Okay, now hope that makes sense. So this is done. All right. Place in cell B8 a function to return day of the week. To return what? Day of the week. For the date entered in cell B3. We want to return the day. This is the day code, right? This is the day code, right? But now we want to now know what is the day. This is the day, this is the code for it, right? We have returned the code, like we've done the code. Now we want to return the day. So if this 5 is a Thursday, we want it written. We want it written. We don't want to, because 5 can be confusing. Yes, 5. But what is 5? Right? So to do this, we are going to do what? Equals to what? Text. It converts a value to a text in a specific number format. So we have this, and then we have this. Now, this is what we want. Now, this is the text. We want to convert it. Now, we can now say, okay, look at this. What kind of text do you want to format? You know when we use month here, right? If we use month here, let me show what I'm talking about so you can understand what I'm saying. Now, if here, right, was, let's say, for example, we use equals to month, right? It gave us 3. I'm just testing it. It gave us 3. If we want to convert this, this will be equals to text, this one. Then, what format are we looking for? We can ask, okay, we want the month to be, right, MMM, right? And then we can now see that this particular month here, that is 3, is March. If we make it 4, it will put the March in full. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing you can do for years. So that is essentially what text does. It turns that value into what do you want to format it as. Does that make sense? Are we learning? Okay, so that's the whole idea. I want you to learn. So now we come here for a day of the week equals to text here, comma, right? So what are we formatting it as? As DD, right? Because we want the day. Okay, so we have this here. Then we'll close it. So this is going to be what? As a Thursday. But we want this, let me see, day of the week. We want it in full. So we come here, add 1D, and that's all. So we know the day of the week is Thursday. Why? Because they told us it starts counting from, they want to be sure, it starts counting from what? From Sunday. It starts counting from what? Sunday. Okay. Okay. It's done. A lot, and you're like, okay, do you have a private tuition? Don't you have? Do you have? And yes, Ajiro Tech do have a private tuition. So by my right, you can see that we have for the EdXL and Cambridge IGCSE, and yes, we do have for all subjects. Okay, all subjects. Okay, the popular ones that's always been in demand is mathematics, English language as a second language. Okay, we have physics, we have biology, we have chemistry, and we have um, you know the flagship, which is ICT, just here and there. We also have business studies. So if you're interested for a private tuition, um, I think all you have to do is send an email to the sales team at ajirotech@gmail.com, and they would reply to you, talk about your time zone, talk about, and the fees really quite affordable. Really, it's really quite affordable. It's when you look at it across other tutoring service, I think this is the one that's quite affordable, and you get the very best of service. We also have for the E levels as well, um, and also for the EdXL. So we have for the Cambridge E levels and EdXL E levels. Okay, and we have also across the subject mathematics, which is usually the hot cake when it comes to E level, mathematics and chemistry, and then biology. These are usually one of the ones we have in demand always, all the time. Even physics, for E level. So all you have to do, if you're watching this right now and you are interested for a private tuition, then you can do yourself a solid, okay, and send an email to the sales team at ajiro@gmail.com, and they will reply to you. Place in cell B9. Index and match function to display the string for this teacher's lesson using the teacher's code and day of the week. Using the teacher's code and day of the week. Now let me just explain something about the index and match, the index and the match function. So that will give you an understanding. When it comes to the index function, right? When it comes to the index function, let me put this here, index. Oh, forgive my handwriting, but you get. So when it comes to the index function, right? Now, what it does is it returns value. The index function what returns what value from a given location in a table, right? So it returns what a value, right? Returns what a value, right? From a given location where user will specify. You will specify what the row, and you specify what the column position. That's what it does. So it's used to what return values from a given what location in a table where that user will specify the rows and column position, right, in that table. Now, what the match does essentially is to search for a specific item in a range of cell. It's just to match it, to specify, right? So it will just search for that specific item you're looking. Index will move it in rows and column. In that row, what are you searching for? That's why it is most time it's always advisable that the index and match functions are used together. Why? Because when they are used together, they allow you to be able to look for a value in a table using both what the rows and column. Okay, let's look at what we are talking about. So here, they said to look up what the teacher's lesson. We want to find this, right? We want to find these are all the teacher's lesson. We want to find it. Now, how do we do this? Now what? They say using what? Teacher's code, teacher's code, and day of the week, which is this. Now, look at this. So I begin with what? Equals to what? Index. Equals to index. Now look at what the index does so you can understand. Index here, look at returns a value or a reference of its intersection of a particular row and column in a given range. So index, what is my array here? Okay, my array here is, let's say what? Look at what they said. To display the string for teacher's lesson using the teacher code and day of the week. So here is going to be what? My array here is going to be what? This is in teacher's code, right? Is in teacher's code. And now, what's the array here? Now, this array here is going to be everything we want to what? Find. Right? It's going to be everything we want to find, which is going to be what? Before to what? History. This is everything we want to find here. So you must have an array of what you want to find. Okay? So now we have an idea of what we want to find, because this is the teacher's, this is subject code, and the subject, the periods and the time. 4 periods, these are the allocated time. So this is what we want to find. We want to find, so we have selected this array here. Now, what is going to be our row? This is the reference. This is the reference of what we want to find. What's going to be the row of what we want to find here? So this is now going to be the match, right? Let's look at it. Return the relative position of an item in an array that matches specific value. So the match here, what is going to be what? The lookup value. The lookup value is going to be what? What did they say? Let's look at the question. Using teacher's code and day of the week. Teacher's code is what we want to find. Okay, comma. What is going to be the lookup value? Look at it here. The lookup value is going to be this. So I'll highlight this. Teacher's code. Okay. And what is going to be my match type? Exact match. Okay. So I'll find the row. Now let's find the column. Now this is the row now. Now what's going to be the column? Let's say using the teacher's code, we've done that, and day of the week. So now we have match, another match. What's my lookup value? Day of the week. Right? So this is going to be what? This one. Can you see that? It's going to be what? Day of the week. Right? Comma. Now what's the lookup array? Come here. It's going to be this. Going to be from here to what? Here. Can you see that? Okay. Comma. And it's going to be what? Exact match. Close it. And then close this one. So now you can see that we have gotten the column, we've gotten the row here, right? We've gotten the row here, this is the row here, and this is what? The column here. This was the array of everything. So with this now, we will now want to find, right? Look at this. Can you see that? That's it here. You just hit on enter, and that's all, right? Now, now want to find this for team. Now, let's look at what we have done, right? Team summer. Now, if we do this, team summer, let's find team summer. What's team summer code? TSO. Look at it. TSO. TSO on Thursday, on Wednesday was B1W. Come on, let me check this. Let me check my code. I selected from what? What did I select? The array here is what? It's not giving me what I want. A4. Let me see. I think there's an error somewhere because it's giving me Wednesday instead of Thursday, right? That's why it's always good to check. Oh, I know. Look, oh, look at it. Look at the error here. Can you see that? I was wondering why it was giving me this instead of this. Now, look at what I did here, right? Here should have been B4, not A4. It should have started from here to here, not from here. Can you see that? It should have started from here to here, not from here. So you can just come here to change this to what? B4. We have not done anything wrong, right? So now look at it. It has not changed because that was what was giving us that error. It started from here. I started the array from here. All I wanted was from here to this part. Do you understand? It's fine. Let me do it again one more time so you can get it. So I said equals to what? The index, right? What's going to be the array? I said the array here is going to be from here, right? B4 from here. From here. You are starting from here. This everything you want to find down here. Can you see that? We started here. And then we have what? Our match, which is going to be the row number. And our match here, we have what? The lookup value. The lookup value here is teacher's code, right? And then the lookup array here is going to be what? Everything here, comma. This is going to be exact match, comma. Then the column number is going to be a match as well. What's going to be the lookup array? It's going to be day of the week, comma. What's going to be the lookup array? It's now going to be from this to this. And this is going to be what? An exact match. Close this, hit on enter. So now you can see this here. Can you see that? So now if we're looking at it, we can search. If we change this now, right, to this, it will change. Why? Because remember, our code was what? This for the row. So it's going to, once this change, it's going to change. Now, Martin's Rich, MRE. Let's look for it. MRE. A42. B4 to H31. Okay, I was surprised why that was there. MRE. Let's look for MRE. MRE. Can you see that? Thursday. P1RRV. That's what we have there. So let's look for the last one. This one, there's nothing there. Let's check. THA. Can you see? It's showing 0. There's nothing here. Can you see that? There's nothing here. Let's look for LMA. So we can know what we are saying. LMA will have this one. This one to be on a Thursday, right? This one to be on a Thursday. S1. Let me see. LMA. LMA. Which one is LMA? Leo. Leo. Let's look for Leo. Yeah. Can you see that? That's what we have. So it's working. Make sense? All right, let's go ahead. Okay. Hope you're learning. All right. So this is done. Place in cell high mark, so we need to explain it. Place in cell B13 to E13 formula to display the name of the subject. B13 to E40 formula to display the name of the subject for each class. Okay, so for us to display the name of the subject for each class, now look at this. To display the name of the subject, we want to know the name of the subject. Now, that simply means that if we go back to our question, let's go back. This is the name of the subject. This is the subject code here. And with the subject code here, we can now be able to now know the name of the subject. So to do this, we are now going to use what we call, we are going to use this to now know the name of the subject. Okay, so we're now going to use, we're going to use what? A lookup. Look at, you can see this is what? This right here is, look at the name of the subject. This is, we can use the VLOOKUP here, or SLOOKUP, whichever you want to use, right? We can use SLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, whichever I want to use, right? So I'll just come here to equals to, I can use SLOOKUP. Now my lookup value here is supposed to be this, but the problem now is it has everything here. So we now need to slice it to get our subject code. So to do that, I'm going to use a meet function. What's the meet function? We can't use left because left, it goes only to left, right? So we say it returns the character from the middle of a text string, giving a starting position and a length. So we use the meet function here, right? The meet function here, right? And then what are we starting with? Very important. What are we starting with? So we can now say, okay, we want to start with, the first one is what? Let's look at it. What's the first one? Subject code, right? So it's okay, we want to start with the first one, right? The starting number, and we just want only one character to display, one character. Then my lookup array is going to be this, okay? And my return array is going to be this. And then I have what? The B here, let's look at it, is buoyancy control. Buoyancy control. That's for the S lookup. If we want to use the V lookup, let me just copy this because of time. Oh, sorry. If you want to use the V lookup, so this is going to be, what's the lookup value? This one, right? But it's going to be what? The mid, right? Which is this. And then we'll start with the first one. Why? Because the first one is the subject code, and we just need one character. And then my table array here is going to be everything here. What am I returning? The second one. And it's going to be what? An exact match. Can you see? It's the same thing. So whichever you want to use, it would work, right? I'll just stick with my X lookup. All right, so we have this. Now let's go back to this. They said what? For each class. So now I'm going to replicate. But for me to do that, replicate this, look at what I'm going to do. I need to make this an absolute, right? So that simply means I'm just putting dollar sign in the column and in the row. Okay, and also this as well. I'm also going to make this what? An absolute. So I can use Fn plus F4 to make it absolute. I like this. Or just put dollar sign on the S, on the L, dollar sign on the 4, dollar sign on the L, dollar sign on the 13. So I'll highlight this. So it doesn't change when I'm replicating. So now I come here and then I will adjust it here across. Now it's going to give me the same thing. So all I have to do now is to come here to say, okay, for class 2. Now look at this. What's this? So now this is subject code. Now the next subject code for this teacher is what? Is for the next class. We want to know the class, right? So we have that. So now what we are going to do here is that we're not going to change it. Now look at this teacher. Now look at this. This is the next one, the next subject code, right? And then so you can see that this one starts from 1, right? And next subject code is what? Is 4. Can you see that? Then if this is 4, the next one is going to be what? 5, 6 is going to be 7. Then you have 8, 9, and next one is going to be 10. Does that make sense? So let's say, for example, let's use this. Let's use T, 2, C, T, 4, D. Right? So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You see that, right? Okay. So here now, I'm going to change this. This one is going to be 4. So I'll come here to say, okay, I'm starting from 4, right? And this one is that this is from 4, 5, 6. I'm starting from 7. I know nothing is there, but I'll do that. And here I'm starting from 10. So essentially, if you looked at it, I incremented it by 3. So 1, 1, I'll skip this one and then start from the third one. So this one is 1, 3, 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, the third one, 7, third one, 10. So that's what we have here. Done. Place in cell B14 to E14 formula to display time of the class. Now let's go back. This is the period, which is what? 2. Can you see that? The period here, which is 2. And if you come here to your work, you will see that, look at the period here, and this is the time for the class. Okay, so what we are going to do is this. We'll come here, equals to S lookup. Okay, S lookup. My lookup value is going to be the mid. This one, comma. What are we starting with? We're starting with the second one. Let's check. Yes, which is for the period. And then we're returning 1. Okay, so what becomes my comma? What becomes my lookup array? Come here, my lookup array becomes this, comma, return array, it becomes this. Okay. Now it's going to give me an error. Why is it giving me an error? This is because that, let's look at this. This is what do you think this is? It's not a text. This is a value, right? So we have to now change it here by adding what? That no, this is a value. It's a range. So add a value. What does the value do? It converts a text string that represents a number to a number. So we have this here as what? This value, and I'll close it here. Value. So now we have this. So again, don't forget, we're going to make this absolute. Fn F4. Highlight this. Fn F4. Highlight this. Fn F4. Okay. I will highlight this. And again, we are changing it. Now, this one is 2. Then what will this one be? This one is going to be 5. This one is going to be what? 8. This one is going to be what? 11. Can you see that? Right? So that is going to change. Now, why? Look at this now. This is 2. The period is 2. Right? 2 here. Now here it is 5. Right? And this is 7. Here it is what? 8. This is 10 for the subject code. Here is what? 11. Does that make sense? And you know why we are doing this? They say what? Each teacher can teach what? Up to 4 classes per day. And if you look at the Excel work, we have 4 classes. Okay. Place in cell B14 to E14 formula to display the time of each class. To display what? The time of each class. So let's look at the time. Right? The time for each class. Let's go back here. Beef. No, we have done that. Yeah, yeah, we've done that. Place in cell B15 to E4, E15 to display the room used for each class. The room used for each class. Now let's come here. What's the room here? It's just what? This is the third one. The room here. Now let's go back to our data. We don't need to look for the room. There's nothing to look for here. Right? Look at it. There's nothing to look for here. So we'll just use a normal mid for it to just find the room. Mid here. What's the room? This one. What's the start one? The room is the third one, right? And then I'm returning 1. So that's the room. Can you see that? That's the room. And again, I'm going to make this an absolute. Fn F4, so that when I'm replicating, so I'll come here. If this one is going to be 6. This one is going to be what? 9. And this one is going to be what? 12. What we have here, so here is going to be 3, going to be 6, going to be 9, going to be 12. Solve. Right now, it's not showing anything because there's nothing there. You know what I mean? It's only 2 here. There's nothing here. So if we change it now to Martins, you can see everything is changing. And change it here, you can see it's changing. This is the room of this. Now, it has no class, nothing. So there's nothing here, nothing here. And okay, so you get the idea, right? Okay, let me see. I'm looking for the one that had all classes. Is it Catchy Jones? Which one had all classes? Okay, help me out in the comment section. I want to know the one that has all classes. I had the time to be teaching all day. I don't think anyone had all classes, really. It's not easy. 4. I only had 4, right? 4 classes. Um, I think LHA, LHA, L, Luton Hall, Luther Hall. Okay, so I need to adjust this here so that everything is showing. Good. You can see that this person had um all classes, and it was in the same room that this person had. Any other person that we can use again to check? LHA. Any other person we can use to check? KDH. KDH. Kakita. 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 Yeah. Okay. This person did not have all. Yeah. KDH. This you have all now. Let me see. 12. Okay. I'm just seeing. Let me check here. This is 1. Um. This is 3. um 6, 9, 12. Yeah, this person. Okay, this is on Monday. Sorry, I'm looking at Monday. This was on Monday. So if we change this on a Monday, that will work. This we're looking at it on Thursday. I was wondering. We're looking at it on Thursday. So on Thursday, who had everything? Um, I think it's just this person. Okay, this person had everything. MKA. I just want to ensure that M Matthew Kesa. Kesa. Okay, Matthew. Just trying to. Yep. Okay. So it's working. And if we check it here, the person had the same room. Okay. So we're just trying to ensure that everything is what is working. All right. So let's move on. Hope you're able to learn. Place in cell. This has been done. Edit the formula in cell B13 to E15 so that if there is no data for this class, it does not display an error. They don't want to see an error here from B13 to E15 from here, right? Then for cases like this, let me show you something. They don't want to see errors here. The formula is correct. We're not saying that if there is no data for this class, it does not display an error. So we need to trap it. Okay, so essentially we need to trap it. We need to trap that error. And one way to do with error trapping is to use what? The if error. Right? So we're going to add here to say, okay, if, look at what the if error does. Returns value if error expression is an error and the value expression itself otherwise. So if error, okay, this is the value. If there's any error, display empty, right? And then come here again, right? If there's any error, we have to now do it one by one. Display empty. Come here, do the same thing here. Now, most of you might not see the what I'm doing here. Probably you see it here. Display empty. Can you see that? To have trapped it, there's no data, it does not display. With if error here. Then come here. Then we have what? If error. Then display this. If error, display this. If error, display this. If error, display this. Right? So this one now we don't need to put if error here because it's not going to show anything. Now let's check. Oh goodness, undo my work. Sorry. Now let's check what we have done here. So if we come here, can you see that? Nothing is showing. Good. Right? Thank goodness. All right. All right. So we have this, right? So this is done. So if there's data for this class, it does not display an error. So there's no error. This has been done. It has been trapped. We place the labels in cell B12 to B12 to E12. B12 to E12. This one. Okay. To display the classes class 1 to 4 only if there is a data for this class. If there is no data, the label should not be visible. The label should not be visible. So now we're going to use 1 to test. So they said, if look at it, they said, if there is no data, right? If there is no data, the label should be. So if there is no subject, if you don't have a subject, why should this appear? Right? So we're just going to use a simple conditional function for this. To now say equals to if we use this to test a logical test, if this if equals to what? Empty, then empty. But if it's not equals to empty, give us class 1. Sorry, I know where the error is coming from, because again we're having two things and we need to make it as a string. So I'll come here, put it class 1. Done. Come here again, equals to if, use it to test, right? Is equals to what? Empty. Then by all means display empty. Else, put this in quotes. Okay, so we have this. Then we'll come here to test, equals to if what? If this is equals to empty, comma, then empty. Otherwise, give us this. And then finally we come here to test, come here to test, equals to if this is equals to, or you can say not empty and to give you this. There's so many ways to do it. Some people might want to, some students might want to say, okay, if it's not equals to empty, then by all means give me this, right? Otherwise, display empty. So there are so many ways to do it, right? There are so many ways to do it. Okay, so it's not be as if I'm just giving you one method. Here you learn so many methods. So I can now remove this one. Okay, so that is done. So now if I change this to, you can see it's showing now, it is showing nothing. Can you see that? Done. So that is done. All right. The next one we are going to do is, they said create a new word process document and save it as a test plan, followed by your center number, candidate number, underscore candidate number. For example, we have this. In this document, create a test plan to test the restricted data entry in cell B3. Include the type of test, appropriate test data, and the type of what test selected. Use the test to test data entry in this cell. For each text, take screenshot evidence and place this in your test plan document. So we want to do a test plan. We want to carry a test to see that, to ensure that this thing, if we change it, right? And don't forget, in your test plan, we have the following. We have normal test data, we have extreme test data, and we have what? The abnormal what? Test data. So let's create the Word document here. So I'm going to highlight this. Okay, copy this, come here, and you can click new, Microsoft Word document. Now For students who are just coming up from this IGCSE, you were taught chapter 7, the system life cycle. You were taught under development and testing. You were taught to a test plan. And if you also look at your spreadsheet, you also in chapter 8 of your AS textbook, you also saw test plan, right? So essentially, we use it to test to ensure that these data are working what effectively. Okay, all right. So I have this here. So here I have this. My center number is AN017 2025. Okay, so I'm going to open this. Okay, so I can come here to layout, setup, just make everything 2 centimeters across board for now. Leave it in portrait. Okay, so I'm going to create insert table. My table here, insert table. So what am I giving? What are those criteria that needs to be there? Let's look at it. We need to have what? Type of test, one, appropriate test data, and the type of data selected. So that's three. And we need to see the actual result. So that's four. So we need to see the actual result. So that's four. So 4 columns. And how many rows? So we can just say 6 rows, right? So it's advisable to use two sets of data to check. So if we use 2, 4, 6, yeah, so we can use two sets of data to check. Yeah, so we can use 6. And then auto fit to content, not fit fixed content width, because as we're typing it, we want it to also what? Auto fit to that. So we have this. I think we need to add 2 more. Let's add 2 more. Let's add 2 more. Why? Because of the headings. We didn't factor in the headings. So let's add 2 more above or below, whichever I want to do is fine. So here is what? The test type, right? The test type, okay? And then here is the validation, okay? Here is the validation. And what cell are we using? Okay, and okay, let's look at what cell are we using here? They said B3, right? So the cell here is going to be B3. Okay, here is the expected result. What is supposed to be expected? This is the actual result. Validation, well, what test data are we using for the validation? And then for the test type, what are our data entries? Does that make sense? Okay, good. So that's what we are using here. So now look at what they said. They said the type of test, which is the test type, data entry we are going to use, the test data, which is the validation, and the type of data selected. So in cell 3, what is the expected result and what is the actual result? Okay, so let's proceed. Use this test path to test data entry in this cell. For each test, take screenshot evidence and place this in your test plan document. So now let's do this. So we're going to test this, right? So we'll use the first one. We're going to use the first one to test, right? Which is what? Which is 13th 03 2025. So when we use it, this of course the test data is normal, right? Because it's within what? The acceptable range of, is within the range of what? Acceptability or what? Or validity, right? So now, what is the expected result? Data should be what? Accepted. Data was accepted. And we're going to take what? A screenshot to show that this data was indeed what? Accepted. So take a screenshot here, like this. Okay. And then come here, and then we paste. We can adjust it, picture format, the width. Okay. So here we can bold this. Let's bold it. Um, and then let's probably add this to it. Yeah. So we can adjust this one. Yes. The data was accepted. So let's try another one again. Let's try another one. They said 2025. Remember, don't forget, go back and check. Go back and check. Don't make that mistake. Go back. They said what? Um, they gave us, look at it. We see the entry so that only dates from 2025 to 2026 can be entered. So this is what we are using to test. Okay. This is what we are using to what? To test. So don't forget. We're using that to what? To test. So now to 2026. So I can now impute what? 20 of, okay, October 2026. Will it work? Yes, it will. It will work, right? Because it's within the acceptable. So that's what I'm going to use. 20 October, right? 2026, right? And this is data what? Accepted. Data here was what? Accepted. Okay, so let's check a screenshot for actual result to show proof that it was truly accepted. Sorry, to show proof that this data was truly accepted. But it must show that cell B3 to know that's what we are using. If you look at the question, they said what? In cell B3. So they want to see that. So come here and I'll paste. Picture format, reduce it a bit. This one is 9.2. So, okay, 9.2. So I can come here, highlight this, and I'll merge because it's within, make it in the middle. All right, so the next one that we have done for normal, let's do for extreme. What's extreme is at the boundary or limit of what? Acceptability. So let's do that. So here we have the first one, okay, 2025, which is what? To end value, the beginning or the end. So let's test for this. So this is going to be extreme. So come here. So this is 01, 01, 2025. See, it was accepted. Okay, it was accepted. So I will take a screenshot. Mhm. Okay. So here, this is going to be what? Data accepted. Now take my screenshot. Picture format, reduce it to what? 9.2, right? Because I'm having 9.2 across, right? Just so it aligns. Then another one, which is the beginning or the ending, which is the last one, is going to be 31st, 12th, 2026. So let's try it. 31st, 12th, 2026. It was accepted. Can you see that? So, do you don't expect any class to hold at 31st December? And that would be scary, right? All right. Let me know in the comment section if you're having a good time. Right. So I have this. Um, so this is here, right here. So this here is um, right here, and picture format 9.2. So you have what? Data accepted. So I'll highlight this. Okay. So we have this. All right. So the next one is the abnormal data, right? So let's do the abnormal data. Abnormal data is the data outside the limit of what? Acceptability, right? And validity. And should be rejected and should cause an error and be rejected. Can you see that? So let's look at abnormal data. Abnormal data can be um 22, right? 04 2024. Let's see it, right? 22/04 2024. Can you see that? Look at it. It was what? It was rejected. Okay. So let me move it here so I can take the screenshot. Um, okay. So I can take the screenshot here. Okay. So come here, paste it, um, picture format, reduce it a bit. This one will have this. So here is what? Validation error. So this is validation what? Validation error message. Hmm? Validation error message. Hmm. Let me do this. I want them to be, I can make it 1.5, I think. Yeah, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Yep. Mm-hmm. But I want to extend this one. Mm. Also, I can change this to calibre. Let me see. Calibre. Okay. So this is validation error message. Okay. Okay. I think I can still reduce this a bit. Let me make this one 8.8, 8.8, 8.8, 8.8, and this one can be 9. Yep. All right. So again, I'm going to do another error miss, another valid, another give another abnormal data to test. So I can now say 14 02 2027. Okay. 1402. Okay. 1402 2027. Can see it's giving an error message. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this error message so they can see it that it was rejected. Okay, so come here, paste it, picture format, reduce it a bit, the width. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here is validation error message, and I will highlight this, merge it. This is the abnormal data. Make it center here. This one, calibrate. Okay. So now we have this. So I can just make this 9. Okay. So we have this. So now we've been able to test for abnormal data, extreme, and normal. So we can test to see those that were accepted and those that were rejected. Okay, so hope that is clear. So let's come back here. So for each test, take screenshot evidence. That's what we did, right? So we used to test the data entry in this cell. For each test, take screenshot evidence and place this in your test plan document. That was what we have done. We've taken the screenshot evidence for the 3 um, test data. For we took 2 samples for normal, we took 2 samples for extreme, and we took 2 samples for what? Abnormal. Okay. Save this document. I'm going to save it, and then I would print it out. So come here to File, Save As, and just make it PDF. Right? Just make it PDF. Right? So just make it PDF. And now let's look at how it's going to look like. So this is your printed work. With this now you can print. There's still some spaces here. Okay, let me see. Um, um, what what did I give this? This is 9. Okay, I've reduced it, so that's fine. Save my work and reprint again. File. I just adjusted it. PDF. Replace the other one and come here to check. I can just refresh. So this is better. So this is what we have. Thank you very much for staying with me, for being patient enough to learn. And I would see you in the next one. Please do well to share this video with your friends, with your classmates, so they can learn and get the very best. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.